In the Culture Warriors segment tonight, we begin a new weekly feature starring our pals Monica Crowley and Margaret Hoover. They, of course, are Fox News analysts, and every week they will examine some American culture war issues for us. Tonight, everybody knows that some left-wing women really dislike Sarah Palin, and some believe it is because of the abortion issue.
That Hillary's voters are going to now vote for someone who will contribute to the overturning of Roe v. Wade is an absurd idea. People who vote for Hillary Clinton want to keep choice for Sarah, for Sarah's daughter, for me.
What she means by reform is overturning Roe v. Wade. And I mean, that's something that women have fought for, you know, years and years and years. What's next? To overturn our right to vote?
But if women of America are going to kick the tires the next 55 days, George, and they're going to find out that this is a ticket that wants to put women in prison for having an abortion after they have been raped.
What you do in your own personal life, I give you, oh my goodness, I support you. But don't tell everybody else that their family doesn't have the right to choose.
All right. So what say you, Ms. Hoover?
Look, all of these women that you just showed are women who are products of the 60s and 70s feminist movement. They're products of having women break the glass ceiling, but what's become abundantly clear with the nomination of Sarah Palin to be the vice presidential pick on the Republican side is that they don't just want women to break the glass ceiling. They want women who think like them to break the glass ceiling.
But
so suddenly they're not
agree?
supporting women. They're supporting women who think like them. And because she is not pro-choice, which has been a very pivotal and identifying issue for their movement, they cannot support her.
That, in my opinion, is what's driving the real hatred toward her by the women that you describe as the older feminist crew. Would you agree with that?
I do agree. I mean, I think that all the women that you showed represent a generation that represented the first wave feminism. And those women fought for two things. They fought for abortion rights, and they also fought for equal pay for equal work. They weren't able to score the equal pay for equal work even to this day, but they were able to score abortion rights. So when a woman like Sarah Palin comes along at a huge, high-profile position like this, who is pro-choice and who lives those pro-choice values in her own life, Bill, they don't understand her. They don't get her. They refuse to support her because they look at her as retro. They look at her as a throwback to all of the things that they fought. They think that they fought so hard
But the
for.
hysteria is such that while she governed Alaska, and if I interview Sarah Palin, obviously going to ask her this, whether she wants to overturn Roe v. Wade. I'm not sure whether she does or not. I've never heard her say that. But while she governed Alaska, she wasn't some anti-abortion zealot in the sense of pushing very tough state laws. I mean, she's obviously pro-life, and that's her opinion. And she is an American, and she reflects half the country that is pro-life. And so we're not supposed to have anybody pro-life, Margaret, in any position of power, even though half the country is pro-life. That's absurd.
Well,
that's fascism.
Well, I agree with you. We're allowed to support women if they have different perspectives than us. And I have a different perspective on her on this as well. Look, over 50% of the country, while they may be anti-abortion, they also don't want Roe v. Wade overturned. And so
it's some do and some don't. There are varying degrees of opinion on the matter.
But the vast majority of Americans actually don't want Roe v. Wade overturned. And so what we do need to do then is we need to sort of evaluate this. This is one where I think the Republican Party...
we need to get Sarah Palin on the record as saying, this is how I see the Supreme Court deal. This is what I would like to do legislatively. But you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Any kind of dissent from unfettered abortion, all of the people that you saw there, all of them, don't want any restrictions on abortion at all, in any way, shape, or form. Now, some of them, like Boxer, will say, oh, well, maybe in the third trimester we shouldn't pull the baby's head out and drill a hole in it. Okay, maybe. But it's such an emotional issue, and that's what I want to get to now. Men are not as emotional about abortion as women. I'm generally speaking now, okay? And I feel it's because many women have experienced abortion, and they don't want to be told that they did something wrong.
That's a very interesting psychological insight to it. And that's why I think you see so many emotional reactions from the women that you rolled in that clip. And that's where you get, Bill, the tyranny of thought, right? By all of these really militant pro-choice women, because they've either experienced
or someone close to them, their daughter or their mother.
And again, because...
And I got that on the radio. That's how I learned that.
Well, that's right.
Callers on the radio.
That's right.
And I'm glad you got that on the radio. Here's the thing. Yes, because it's personal, women have more personal experience with this. No people have friends. This is why poll after poll confirms the intuitive knowledge that women know that the choice to have an abortion, most women in this country believe it is between herself, her doctor, her family, and her God, not her government. And vast majority of Americans want government out of this issue, want to keep government out of this issue.
But they want restrictions on the process.
Yes.
And they don't want 12-year-olds having abortions without their parents knowing. They don't want Planned Parenthood making millions of dollars running abortion mills. They don't want Dr. Tiller in Kansas killing a baby moments before it's to be birthed for $5,000.
Right, and that's the political reality, and that's why I think you've seen Governor Palin not be militant about this issue. She's got her personal views about it.
I want her to define it more clearly. Don't you both?
Yes,
Absolutely.
especially her position on incest and rape and making no exceptions
I want
for
her
that.
to define it. This is what I believe. This is why I believe it. If I'm president, this is what I'm going to try to do.
And will she seek to try to import that into public policy if she's vice president?
And
so those are legitimate questions to ask.
The Culture Warriors, everybody. They're going to be here every Thursday on issues like this. We appreciate it, guys.
You bet.